Boom. Hello, and welcome back. It's your boy Johnny Go Vroom. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of some of the stuff that we were going to be doing today. I met some pretty cool people. I rode some pretty cool trails, and as always, trying to be polite as I possibly can. You probably saw it. Got a little boo-boo on my arm there. I was not wearing my elbow pads, so please feel free. Chastise. I chastise me too. I feel like an idiot because you're always like, I'm gonna go for a ride and nothing's gonna happen, and then there it goes. Just the same, it's hot as hell, so I gotta take my chances with it, guys. Please don't judge me. Out here on the V14 by Inmotion, utilizing the Fast Ace suspension. That is a progressive coil suspension that I have in the back there. The yellow seat and the yellow and blue seat combination there, along with the rear bumper segment and the corner yellow bumpers on my battery boxes are all from Grizzla. That is a Grizzla body kit. The pads, those are gifted from Roger Chapman. Those are VCF. My gloves from E-Rides. Absolutely stellar gloves. The P1 Max gloves are, man. And then the helmet, that is by Vega. That is a Vega Air GPX. And my backpack is from Usui. Out here on the trail, you're going to see a lot of pine needles, a lot of leaves, a lot of fluffy, what we call sugar sand, tons and tons of roots. Those are going to be the really critical obstacles, along with really tight fitting spaces. A lot of really tight spaces that you're going to have to squeeze your shoulders through in order to make it happen. So that's a lot of what this trail has to offer. Whenever I ride this trail, since I've ridden it so much, I'm no longer really adventuring, as it were. I'm no longer exploring in that context. I'm mostly training. I know where most of the turns are. I say most because sometimes little things change based upon downed trees or based upon trails that get flooded out or eroded. So there is some changes that do happen, but within margin, I know pretty much what's going to happen. So I'm out here just trying to train, trying to make sure that I put as much weight as I can into the tire whenever the ground is really, really firm, whenever the ground is a little bit looser, or whenever I know that there is vertical travel, then I kind of release my my weight down on the wheel. You saw that right there, right? The vine. That's what I mean. Like within reason, I know where things are. But occasionally, there's going to be a vine that's going to try to take your head off. So you got to keep your reflexes tight, real tight. Man, I just love these trails and being out here. Anytime that it's like a flow situation where I know that I can get it here. Oh, we're gonna do a little ba-boom, ba-ba, boom, ba-ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. Anytime I know that I can flow and I can get a little bit of speed, I am so happy. Because to me, that's where these wheels shine, man. Just being able to flow in the most ridiculous situations. And so that is what I love to do on this trail, and that's what we're doing. I got some questions about comparisons between the V9 and the Aero. I mentioned the V9 and the Falcon, and for giggles, we'll speculate a little bit about how the rocket fits into that space. Just wanted to mention it. You know, they're all different. They're all really interesting. I have thoughts. I do have thoughts. But before the thoughts, I just kind of wanted to throw this little tip, this idea, this notion out there to you. It's called loading and deloading, okay? Whenever you are on a non-traditional surface, that is, you are not on asphalt, you are not on concrete, you are not on a predictable surface with exactly repeatable surface, surface tension, friction, the coefficient of friction is the same, unanimous, the whole way. If you are not on a surface like that, then you are going to have to worry about losing traction. And whenever you feel like you would lose traction most is when you need to be deloading. And that is, you don't want to try to pin down acceleration, aggressive cornering, or anything like that when you feel like the terrain is not going to support with traction, whether by leaves, whether by loose sand, or anything like that. So whenever you're deloading, what you're trying to do instead of loading, which is pushing down into the ground, which you can load by pushing down on your suspension. So if you like just push down on your pedals and that spring downward, that is to load. Okay, that's like a preload. Basically, you're loading a jump. Okay, so it's like a piston. So when you push down, you're loading. The opposite of loading then is lifting up your knees. And what I would encourage each and every one of you to do is to work on some Roman chair knee lift type stuff. Protect that lower back, because if you deload too incredibly much, if you deload a lot, like that is if you try to just do aggressive bonks without conditioning, you could pull your back and it could suck, but that's not necessarily going to happen in every instance, but just the same. Deloading and loading. So in an aggressive corner, I'm actually pulling on the leaves. And on the leaves and in the dirt, I'm actively pulling my knees upwards towards my body, and I'm trying to reduce the amount of downforce into the tire as much as I possibly can. And the only way that you can do that is to just pull a little bit of the weight up, and that way it doesn't slide out of control. Whenever I'm riding the trails, I am always scanning ahead. I'm always planning 2 or 3 moves ahead, and you've always got to have a quick exit. That's because if there is pedestrians or bicyclists on the trail and they are coming at you, they have the right of way, man. So you need to get out of their way. And if you're belting down a trail at 20 miles an hour, because it looks fast, but guys, I scarcely go more than 30 miles an hour out here, just because of how many trees there are and how tight the surfaces are. I mean, I think once or twice I might have gotten to like 35, but generally it's right around 20 miles an hour. But if you're belting down these trails at 20 plus miles an hour and you are not aware of other people, you are a safety hazard. You, my friend, have no business out here. You need to go back home. Just go back home. It is not all about you. It is not all about me. This place is for everybody. One of the reasons why I'm so adamant about these things being on the trail is because I don't have a torsion stop or start. I do not have a torsion stop or start. So that means I cannot really peel out in a traditional sense, nor can I power slide in a traditional sense. I can, with a lot of practice, do some things that kind of mimic it, but bicycles will do more damage to a trail than an EUC ever will. So that's why I feel great being out here. I don't make any noise. That's another thing. I really don't like to make noise on these trails. So the fact that I don't have a combustion engine between my legs makes me feel amazing. I am not scaring away the birds. I am not messing up anything with the animals. The animals always see me. They stay right where they are. They scarcely bolt away because they have, I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing they don't know what the heck is going on. And I don't look like the traditional human thing, and the wheel has a funky sound to it, so they're out here just doing what it is that they're doing. And it's awesome being on one of these wheels out here. It's just a great way to enjoy the trails and share them with other people. And when we're talking about sand, you really got to think about bleeding speed, okay? And what that means is you've got to let go of a little bit of speed and try to come to a consistent rate of approach in order to get through soft, sugary sand. The harder the sand is, or like the harder the dirt is, the easier it is going to be to accelerate, and the more rewarding that the carving sensations are going to be there. Now, this is one of the places where torque can be a liability. So with firmware that's not well done, a wheel that has a ton of torque is going to become quite unruly off-road. You're going to lose traction all of the time, and that's where I think that the Rocket may end up having some issues. I do think that in the right hands, it's going to be a torque monster, but that torque monster, without the right sort of programming in terms of the firmware, is going to be a liability in any situation where traction, the coefficient of friction on the surface, is not unanimous the entire way through. So for me, that's where I think, the V9 suspension is not at all meant for this, so it shouldn't be in the conversation about this. But for me, because of where the torque sits on that wheel, to me, it seems like a funner option for flow trails. So that's just my 2 cents there. And I don't feel like it would be a liability about it. And it's a little bit bigger diameter, so for me, that's going to be a more comfortable kind of experience. So let's just get into these small wheels real quick. The Falcon is a wheel that postured at being a performance sort of wheel, and it inspired a certain amount of zeal. That zeal would take you up to about 27 miles per hour, and then you would face plant. So, to me, that is not a good posturing. I don't understand why these wheels are being presented as performance wheels. That puts them in a niche and a very specific place for a very specific group of people. And I'll use this anecdote about, it's a real world thing, but your cartilage, it starts to decline in your 30s, okay? And by your 40s, it's getting worse and worse. And it keeps on getting worse to worse decade to decade. So your recovery gets slower, injuries get stickier, and small wheels, well, they accelerate that wear. So personally, after riding the Falcon, I decided I would not be riding any more smaller format that is like 15-inch and below wheels, because I've been there and I've had to recover from that. And honestly, dudes, it sucks. It really, really sucks. And I'm 41 and I'm a personal trainer and I do all sorts of fitness things. And trying to recover from riding one of those wheels was a pain in my butt. So that said, if you want to mitigate the pain, then you need the best suspension. The best suspension is going to be on the Aero. Okay, so there you go. If you want to go faster than everybody else, then that's going to be the Rocket. By default, 168 volts is going to put you there a lot quicker. So if you're looking for ride feel and finesse, I think that the Aero is going to be the superior wheel. If you're looking for brute force and aggressive acceleration and you plan on staying on the concrete, pavement, city stuff more often, the Rocket may better suit you in the ability to merge with traffic occasionally. Now, the Falcon, I don't think, unless it sees an upgrade, even has a place at the table in this conversation right now, just because the notoriety for dumping people at 27 miles an hour is just not cool. You cannot inspire that sort of ride vigor and then not follow it up with any safety nets at all. That's where I'll bring to light my feelings on the V9. The V9 does not have a lot of torque. If you watched my last video, you'll see that I jumped up on a boulder and it squished out. The pedals dipped on that boulder. So you can clearly see that it is not something that is built with a whole lot of torque in mind. I think that's to protect the internals. It doesn't try to keep that rigid pedals. Regardless of why it does not have a lot of torque. So we'll see how it climbs hills soon, but I will tell you this. Inmotion puts 27 miles per hour on the box. It means that you can go 27 miles per hour with a 20% safety overhead. Okay, and so this wheel, I was scared at first, but then I decided to just do it. I trusted Inmotion. I said, you know what, 27 miles per hour, and I hit it 27 miles per hour safely with the tilt back at my weight. Whoa! Okay? Woo! That was crazy. A vine jumped up and tried to catch me.
You sure get around.
You're doing a video of yourself, huh?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I see the camera on top of your helmet.
Oh, this one's the camera here. This is a light because sometimes, for the nighttime, this is the camera here. But if you guys want, I can completely black you out of my video. It's not a problem.
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay. I love the shirt.
Oh, thank you. So, are you on a YouTube channel?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you both are superhero shirts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Johnny Go Vroom.
Johnny Go Vroom?
Yes, sir.
So I'll look for you on YouTube and I'll like one of your posts.
Yes, sir.
I've been following this one guy called not Chris Wallace. Steve Wallace.
Yes, sir.
He's from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He camps out in the strangest spots.
That's crazy. In Canada, though, because there's so much more wilderness.
Yeah, and he camps behind a sign, like a billboard.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, so you ought to look him up. He's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but he don't do this.
But he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And you're on a unicycle.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
A motorized unicycle.
Electric. It's electric. It's got a self-balancing motor. Yes, sir.
Wow. But I used to be self-balancing myself, but I'm 66 and yeah.
Well, Marvel forever, man. High five.
High five.
Boom. At the end of the day, the V9, the Aero, the Falcon, the Rocket, if you make an informed purchase, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with what you get. At this stage in the EUC development game, everything is just so dang amazing. The Aero locks it down with finesse. The Rocket locks it down with fast. The V9 does it with function. And the Falcon, honestly, I wasn't super impressed with the Falcon. I just got to be honest, guys. So that's how I feel. I won't buy any of them because my knees, well, except for the V9, obviously, it's bigger than the other ones, so on my knees, it's actually a little bit better, and it doesn't posture as a go-fast wheel, so it doesn't abuse me nearly as much. Lastly, the Grizzla pads. Guys, they are going to be better than anything that you have ever had in your entire life. When I tell you lean confidence has never been better on a single pad, believe that with your whole entire heart. I can dump my entire weight into these pads and I could not twist them off of the wheel. When I tell you that you get the lean that you loved from the power knobs, but you actually get functional agility inside of the lean. Guys, believe it. When I tell you that it is so comfortable because they are implementing materials that you haven't seen even used before on pads. Believe it. When I tell you that they have features that other pads haven't even fathomed, including as features, believe it. Guys, these things are the apex, the pinnacle of what pads should be. And mark your calendars, they're coming in May. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you so much, each and every one of you. And until next time, peace.